The Articles of Confederation. In 1776, the Second Continental Congress passed the Declaration of Independence. The 13 colonies became the United States of America. After the Second Continental Congress passed the Declaration of Independence, the legislatures of each former colony wrote new constitutions for their states to replace their British colonial government. A constitution is a written plan of government. The Continental Congress knew that it had to set up some form of government for the United States of America, but it had a problem. The individual states did not want to give up any of their powers to the central government. They only wanted to cooperate voluntarily. Americans were very nervous about forming a central government. They had bad experiences with the British King and Parliament. They feared giving power to a central government might cause them to lose their freedom. Voluntary cooperation was working for the 13 colonies. People will agree to legally binding cooperation if the voluntary kind of cooperation no longer solves problems. Regular voluntary cooperation was still working. Because voluntary cooperation had not failed, few people saw the need for legally binding cooperation between the states. The group who drew up the first plan of government for the United States of America purposely made a plan with a weak central government. Their plan kept most of the powers of government in the separate states because they knew that the states were not yet ready to give up local control for legally binding cooperation. After much debate, a new plan of government called the Articles of Confederation was approved by the Second Continental Congress in 1777. The Articles of Confederation was a plan of government for the United States in which the central government was not any stronger than the Continental Congress had been. According to the Articles of Confederation, the central government was very weak. The central government was able to make laws, but was not able to do anything if a state did not follow the laws. The central government did not have the right to directly collect taxes. It could only ask for money from the state governments. Although the Articles set up a legislature to make the laws, it did not set up a person or group to be responsible to carry out or enforce the laws. Instead, the central government had to depend on the states to carry out laws. The central government did have some powers. The central government had the right to fight the Revolutionary War. It also was allowed to deal with Native Americans and set up the mail system. The central government could also borrow money in the name of the United States and could print paper money. The central government could not tax directly, control trade between the states or other countries, or enforce the laws it made. The Articles of Confederation takes years to ratify. The plan for a weak central government was just what the states wanted. The Articles of Confederation were so popular that within the next year, 12 states quickly ratified them. However, the Articles of Confederation had to be ratified by all 13 states before they could go into effect. That was a problem because one of the states, Maryland, wouldn't ratify the Articles of Confederation. Maryland was one of the only states that did not have claims to any of the Western lands. Maryland was afraid that all the other states would become much bigger and stronger as those states took over new Western lands. Maryland wanted all the new Western lands to be turned over to the central government. Because of Maryland's refusal to ratify the Articles of Confederation, the Second Continental Congress had to keep meeting. It took 4 years to solve the disagreement with Maryland. Finally, in 1781, Thomas Jefferson persuaded the legislature from his state of Virginia to turn over its claim of Western lands to the central government. Then other states did the same. Later, in 1781, Maryland signed the Articles of Confederation, and they went into effect. That same year, the British general Cornwallis surrendered, and the Revolutionary War ended.